How you doing, everybody? It's Coach Burgess, and your HumanityWOD for today is actually a question. What is truth? Now, most of my talk is going to be about a book that really touched me a few years ago. It's called Living Buddha, Living Christ, and it was my introduction to Buddhism. But before I get into that, I'm going to give a little parable on truth. So 3 blind men walk into a field where there's an elephant. There's just an elephant chilling in the field. The first blind man feels the elephant's trunk and thinks it's a giant snake. The second blind man feels one of the elephant's legs and thinks it's the trunk of a big tree. The third blind man feels the elephant's tail and thinks it's a big rope. So all 3 men have walked into this space, and based on their beliefs, their perspective, they've formed their truth on what surrounds them, yet none of them are right. What's really in the room or what's really in that space is an elephant. And the point of this parable, or at least the way I've interpreted, is that absolute truth is a very hard to define thing. Everybody is going to bring to each situation their perspectives, their beliefs, and their truth. So by that line of thinking, by that logic, having absolute unquantifiable truth is very, very difficult. It's practically downright impossible. Now, getting back into what I really wanted to touch on today, I read a book probably about 7 or 8 years ago called Living Buddha, Living Christ. It was written by a Vietnamese monk by the name of Thich Nhat Hanh, and he was very instrumental in speaking out against the Vietnam War. Dr. Martin Luther King actually recommended him for the Nobel Peace Prize. It was a really, really, really interesting book for when I read it at that time in my life, because it opened my eyes to a lot of teachings beyond Christianity. Now, one particular passage on this, on truth, stuck out to me then, and I wanted to share it with you guys today. So, early in the book, he writes, "In a true dialogue, both sides are willing to change. We have to appreciate that truth can be received from outside of us, not only within our own group. If we do not believe that, entering into a dialogue would be an utter waste of time. If we think we monopolize the truth and we still organize a dialogue, it's not authentic. We have to believe that by engaging in dialogue with the other person, we have the possibility of making a change within ourselves that we can become deeper. Dialogue is not a means for assimilation in the sense that one side expands and incorporates the other into its self. Dialogue must be practiced on the basis of non-self. We have to allow what is good, beautiful, and meaningful in the other person's traditions to transform us." Now, sticking with the spiritual themes that have been going on Sundays with this project, talked about compassion, talked about understanding. We can't enter into that dialogue if we don't at least accept that we may not own the truth, that there may be something I can learn from this upcoming conversation that challenges, transforms, and changes some of my previous beliefs. If you don't go into it with that sense of openness, you will not grow and you will not change. So there's your HumanityWOD for today. I want you to sit back and think about what is truth. And remember, if we take action, we can be the change we wish to see in the world.